Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. Myself Dr. Arjuman Nas. I am PG scholar from the Department of Ilmul Adviya Pharmacology from National Research Institute of Unani Medicine for Skin Disorders, Hyderabad. Today I am going to speak on a topic that is Unani system of medicine. It sounds bit simple here, but it is a complete science of health and healing, and we'll see its history, development and importance of Unani system of medicine in today's healthcare system. So let's start with history and its development. Unani is one of the oldest medicinal system in the world. It is still popular and practiced in the different parts of the world, mainly in Indian subcontinents. It is known by the different names in different countries like Unani system of medicine, Eastern medicine, complementary and alternative system of medicine, Tibbi-Nabwi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, prophetic medicine, Greco-Arab system of medicine, and traditional medicine, etc. Contribution for the development of this system of medicine have been made by the expert from different parts of the world during the different periods. The Unani system of medicine has its origin from Greece. Its founder was the great philosopher and physician Bukhara, popularly known as Hippocrates, during the period of 460 to 377 BC. He was the first Unani physician who described medicine from the concept of superstition and gave it a status of science. Then comes the Aristotle. During the period 384 to 322 BC, was a Greek philosopher and polymath and was the founder of Lyceum, the Periphetic school of philosophy and the Aristotelian tradition. Then comes Erasiteratus, was the famous student from the school of Alexandria, who is popularly known as founder of physiology. Then comes Jalinus, popularly known as Galen. During the period 129 to 216 AD, was the famous physician and surgeon and philosopher in the Roman Empire and contributed a lot to the Unani system of medicine. Then comes Dioscorides Dioscorides. During the period 40 to 90 AD, was the famous physician in 1st century and he was the author of Ilmul Adviya. Pharmacy was very much developed during the Egyptian period. They prepared the medicine in different dosages and in various forms like fermented decoction, oil, powder, ointments, etc. Then Persian physicians learned this art from the Iranian physicians and the philosophers. They further developed this medicine into a complete science and it was very much accepted. Then the Islamic ruler of Arabian countries adopted Unani system of medicine and further developed it. They recognized the importance of registered documented formulary, that is Kharabadin. They developed the chemistry, pharmacy, pharmaceutical procedures. In this period, they invented the process of distillation, sublimation, calcination, and fermentation. These procedures enhances the efficacy of the medicine and also remove the impurities and toxic effects of the drug. The eminent scholars of this era are Jabir bin Hayyan during the period 717 to 813 AD. He was the famous physician and chemist who was settled in the Arab as a royal physician and he is popularly known as father of chemistry. Then comes Bu Ali Sina, popularly known as Avicenna, during the period 980 to 1037 AD. The great philosopher and most significant physician of Islamic Golden Age and the father of early modern medicine, who gave a final shape to the Unani medicine and redefined many concepts which were based on his clinical experiences. His book Al-Qanun or the Canon of Medicine was accepted worldwide and was taught in the European countries till 17th century. It was the Arabs who introduced Unani medicine in the Spain The famous scholar of physician of this period are Abul Qasim Zahrawi. He was popularly known as Abul Qasis. During the period 946 to 1036 AD, he was the famous surgeon of Royal Hospital of Cordoba and the author of Al-Tasrif. These are the surgical instruments what Abul Qasim Zahrawi has invented. Then comes Ibn Hashim. During the period 965 to 1039 AD, the renowned scientist and Unani physician from Syria, he laid down the principle of optics in his book Kitab al-Manazir, referred to as father of modern optics. Then comes Ibn Nafis during period 1213 to 1288 AD, was the first scientist who discovered the pulmonary blood circulation. In India, this system was introduced in 1351 AD by Arabs. Soon it was acclaimed by the masses due to its efficacy and safety. The Delhi Sultan, the Khilji dynasty during the period of 1290 to 1320, the Tolga dynasty 1320 to 1414, and the Mughal emperors from 1526 to 1857 provided a state patronage to these scholars and even enrolled some as state employees and appointed them as court physicians. In 13th and 17th centuries, the Unani system of medicine has its popularity in India. Among those who made valuable contribution to this system of medicine are Abu Bakr bin Ali Usman Khurasani, Sardar Uddin Damashqi, Bahwa bin Khwas Khan, Ali Gilani, Akbar Arzani, and Muhammad Hashim A.M. Khan. In 1810, establishment of Government Nizamiya Tibbiya College at Hyderabad is a Unani medical college by an Afghan scholar Sajida Masjid. Then Government Nizamiya General Hospital was built in 1926 by the last Nizam of Hyderabad, H.E.H. Mir Usman Ali Khan Sahab. Then in Northeast region, Hakim Abdul Aziz. During the period 1855 and 1911 was a prominent Unani physician during the British India period and was the founder of Takmil al-Tib School at Lucknow in 1902. Then comes an outstanding physician and scholar of Unani system of medicine, that is Masihul Mulk Hakim Ajmal Khan, during the period 1868 to 1927, has taken the Unani system to its pinnacle. He was the founder of Ayurvedic and Unani Tibbiya College, Delhi in 1916, which expanded the research and practices in the field and saved the Unani system of medicine from extinction in India. We celebrate World Unani Day on 11th of February every year, which marks as the birth anniversary of great Unani scholar Hakim Ajmal. Now we'll see the establishment of CCRUM, Central Council for Research in Unani Medicine. The Unani system attained the phenomenal growth in terms of opening more educational institutions after the establishment of Central Council for Research in Unani Medicine in Delhi in 1978 and its branches across the India. The CCRUM started functioning independently from 10th of January 1979. It helps to engage the multimodal research activities, to develop the Unani system of medicine, to initiate, aid, develop, and coordinate the scientific research in different aspects, in the fundamental and applied aspects of Unani medicine, to promote and assist the institution of research for the study of diseases, their prevention, causes, and their remedies. It also helped to issue the amendments, rules, and notifications. Now let us see the fundamental framework of Unani system of medicine. It has four elements: air, water, fire, and earth. Four proximate qualities: hot, cold, wet, and dry. Four humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. Dam, balgam, safra, and soda. Four temperaments: sanguine, phlegmatic, choleric, and melancholic. That is Damri, Balgami, Safari, and Sodavi. Admixture of different elements and humors along with their qualities in the specific ratio specify its temperament. So this is the picture of fundamental framework of Unani system of medicine. It has four elements here, four proximate qualities: hot, wet, dry, and cold, four humors, and four temperaments. Now we'll see the principle of Unani medicine. As per this system, existence of human being is based upon the seven natural principles. These are known as the Umur Tabaya. They are seven. The first one is Arkan or element. It is a simple, undivisible matter which provides a primary component for the human body and others. Second is the Akhlaq, humors. In the Tibetan term, it is a Rutubate Badaniya or fluids of the body. Third is the Mizaj, temperament. It indicates the property of an atom, molecule, cell, tissue, organ, and the organism as a whole. Then Aza. The body organs, it may be simple or compound. As you all know, Aza, Mufarada, and Murakkaba. Then comes Pua, faculty or the powers, which is the unique property of the body. Sixth is the Arwa Nima, which is the breath of life. Seven is the Afal, function. That is all the physiological functions of the body. Now comes the homeostasis, which is the internal environment of the body. Maintenance of homeostasis is the primary aim of the Unani system of medicine. Homeostasis is also called as Sihat or normal milieu interior. In the Unani system of medicine, homeostasis is known as health. All the functions of the body has to be within the normal range. The disease or MERS, which is the imbalance in the homeostasis, which is a reciprocal of health in which one or more functions or the forms of bodily organs are at fault. There is another condition called as third state of the body, which is Nasihat Lamers, which can be considered the incubation period, which is neither health nor disease. Now let us see the pathological conditions of the body, which is provoked by the cause or sabab. The sabab may lead to a single disease, which is Marz Mufarrad, a compound disease, Marz Murakkab, which is a combination of two or more diseases. The Marz Mufarrad is again divided into three categories: Sue Mizaj, dyscrasia, Amraz Tarkib, structural diseases, and third is Amraz Tafarruq Ittisal, diseases of dissolution of unity. The compound diseases may lead to an external cause and internal cause. External cause leads to a Sue Mizaj Sada, and internal cause leads to a Sue Mizaj Madhi. Ars, which is after effect, arises from the basic pathology. Now let us see the principle of diagnosis. Principle of diagnosis is based upon the four clinical parameters. Those are history and physical examination. Second is the pulse or nerves examination and the 10 features. Physical examination of the urine, and fourth is the physical examination of the stool. Clinical parameters. These are the clinical parameters Atiba used to implement on the patient at that time. Our Atiba used to diagnose diseases from these parameters only. Their clinical diagnosis was still perfect at that time. But as we all know, that healthcare system has become more complex with the time, and laboratory investigation has become the essential part of physician and other healthcare professionals to make the appropriate evidence-based diagnosis. Now we'll see the importance of laboratory investigations. Clinical laboratories provide information and services that contributes to maximizing the effective delivery of care in today's complex healthcare system by ensuring that the correct test is performed on the right person at the right time, producing accurate test results. Laboratory information enables the physician and other healthcare professionals to make appropriate evidence-based diagnosis or therapeutic decisions for their patients. It is also helpful as a patient safety and satisfaction. Laboratory information has a profound impact on the patient diagnosis. Tests, whether classified as a screening or diagnostic, are essential element of protocol used to diagnose and manage the specific diseases and conditions. It helps in rapid identification of the disease, assessment of severity of the disease, can create a therapeutic plan, and which helps in the management of treatment. It helps to check the therapeutic efficacy of the drug also. Now we'll see the prevention. Unani system of medicine also given great importance to the prevention of the disease and promotion of health than cure. For the maintenance of health, 6 essential factors are required, and these are called as Asbab Uriya. The first one is Hawa or fresh air. Second is the Makulat and Mashrubat, food and drink. One person has to be healthy, he has to take proper food and drink, and he has to maintain the timings also. Third is the harakat sukun badani, body movement and rest. Proper body movement of exercises and proper rest has to be taken. Fourth is harakat sukun nafsani, psychic movement and rest, which is the mental work and rest. Fifth is the normal yavza, sleep and wakefulness. The person has to sleep properly and on the time, and he has to awake properly. The sixth one is istifrag wa ihtibas, which is evacuation and retention, which considers the metabolism of the food and liquid as both affecting and being regulated by the tabiat. Now let us see the principle of treatment. In Unani system of medicine, treatment is based upon the temperament and humors. In the disease condition, there is imbalance in the body temperament and humors. Therefore, the Unani physician make all the efforts for the correction of temperament and balancing the humor. Every humor has a specific temperament as described earlier, hot, wet, cold, and dry. So the drug used for the temperament should possess an opposite temperament than that of the disease humor, resulting in the normalization of temperament. A disease which is cold in the nature can be cured by the drug which has hot temperament. Now we'll see the treatment. Treatment can be given by the 4 ways. First one is eligible visa dietotherapy, which is the alteration of the diet, restriction of the diet, and prohibition of certain foods are advised. Second is eligible regimenal therapy. This includes hijama, that is cupping therapy, dalak massage, fasad bloodletting, talia cruching, kai cauterization, steam bath, fermentation, emesis, purging, enema, and exercises, etc. are advised as per the need of the patient. Third is eligible dawa pharmacotherapy. We'll see this detail in the next slide. Mostly naturally occurring herbal drugs are used, and few drugs of animal and mineral origin can also be used. Then if these 3 therapies does not work, then we'll go for eligibility or surgery. Now let us see the treatment. The diseases are treated in the following ways. The first one is eligible visa dietotherapy, which we have discussed earlier. The second is eligible tadbib or regimenal therapy. Actually, regimenal therapy is a complete science and one of the most popular method of treatment practiced by ancient Unani scholars. It is based upon certain special techniques or physical methods of treatment to improve the constitution of the body by removing morbid humors and improving the defense mechanism of the body, which is called immunity, by which Unani physician modulate the patient's habitat, lifestyle, and dietary habits of the patient and maintenance of general health care of the sick person, and health gets restored. Among these therapies, FASAD or bloodletting venesection. This is FASAD, bloodletting or venesection. Kali bleach therapy, cupping. This is the cupping, and one more is there Amalekai cauterization are the essential part of regimental therapy, which has played a significant role in maintaining the human health. Due to their negligible side effects and environmental friendly nature, even developed countries are also emphasizing the use of regimental therapies or Ilajable Tabdil. But all the aseptic technique has to follow before performing any regimental therapy to prevent the contamination from the pathogens and protect the patient from infection. And these are other regimental therapy. This is the massage therapy. This is the bath, the hammam therapy. This is fermentation, exercise. These are the applying some zimat on the body, etc. Now we'll see the pharmacotherapy. Pharmacotherapy can be given by the two ways, either the single drugs, which are in the raw form, or a compound drugs, which is the formulation of combination of the drug. The single drugs can be given in the powder form or in the Gishanda or Faisanda, but we have to keep in mind that the drugs which are procured, which the drugs has to be procured from the authentic source and which can be identified by a botanist or pharmacognosist or any senior physician so that the results will come, good results will come. Then the compound drugs can be are of two types. The first one is the classical compound formulation. There are hundreds and thousands of compound formulation which are mentioned in the classical Unani books or the Harabadis. The second is the patent or proprietary drugs formulated by individual research institutions, and these drugs are prepared uh, by the procedures mentioned in the UPI and NFPM. Now we'll see the dosage form of the Unani medicine. These are of four types. The first one is jamid or solid. Second is the neem jamid, semi-solid or semi-liquid. The third one is the sayal or liquid form of drug. The fourth is the bukhari or vapor form of drug. The jamid or solid form of drugs are hab, hurs, safuf, shiaf, humul, fakila, sunun, barut, kohal, atus, Nufur, Ghalia, Rub, Nura, and Nushur. Neem Jamid form of drugs are Majun, Itrifil, Javarish, Amishdaru, Dawal Misk, Mufarred, Labu, Yaquti, Gashasha, Zaruni, Dayakuza, Hamira, Murabba, Gulkhand, Lau, and Halwa. The liquid form of drugs are Maul Jab, Maul Asil, Maul Laham, Maul Shail, Maul Bukul, Maul Fawaka, Sharbat, Nabiz, Tincture, Sikanjabin, Sirka, Dushanda, Hasanda, Halid, Luabat, Julal, and Metil. The vapor form of drugs are Bufur, Intibab, Shamoon, and Lakhlaka, etc. Now we'll see the advantages of taking Unani medicines. These are the naturally occurring drugs used in the Unani system, which are symbolic of life and are generally free from side effects. Few drugs are toxic in their crude form, so they are processed, detoxified, purified by the different methods before its use. Second is the medicines are easily available and affordable since they are grown locally. Third, in this system of medicine, holistic approach is adopted towards the patient rather than just focusing the disease. Fourth, this system emphasizes on the temperament of individual and medicines are prescribed as per the temperament of the patient, thus accelerating the recovery process. Fifth, more user-friendly and compatible for the patient. Sixth, the Unani system of medicine is capable of providing physical problems as well as mental and psychological problems. Though few disadvantages are also there, like drugs have slower effect as compared to the allopathic dosage form, so it requires long-term therapy. The taste and odor is difficult to hide sometimes, and no pharmacopoeia defines any specific procedures. Now let us see the four kafiyat and their clinical correlations. If the kafiyat is hard, the symptoms may be the body heat increases, the thirst increases, the urine may be decreases, which is yellowish or reddish in the color. Uh, the nubs will be fast, and it is having a unique property called stimulating property, which may lead to har ratab or har yabis. If it is har ratab, then the mizaj will be dambi. If it is har yabis, then the mizaj will be safravi. For the dambi mizaj, the nubs will be fast and smooth. For safravi mizaj, the nubs will be fast and sharp. If the kafiyat is barid or burudat, then the symptoms may be the body heat decreases, the thirst decreases, urine increases, it may be white and clear, the nubs will be slow, it is having a different property, suppressing property, which may lead to barid ratab or barid yabis. If it is barid ratab, then the mizaj will be balgami. If it is barid yabis, then the mizaj will be Saudari. For the Balgami mizaj, nubs will be slow and dull. For Saudari, the nubs will be slow and sharp. The third category is Ratab or Rutubat. The skin may be moist and the body volume increases. The thirst decreases. It is having connecting property. It may lead to har ratab or barid ratab. If it is har ratab, then the mizaj will be dambi. If it is barid ratab, then the mizaj will be balgami. For the dambi mizaj, nubs will be fast and smooth. For balgami, it is slow and dull. For Yabusat Kaifiyat, the skin will be dry and body volume decreases, thirst increases. It is having breaking property, which may lead to har yabis or barid yabis. If it is har yabis, the mizaj will be safravi. And if it is barid yabis, the mizaj will be sodavi. For safravi mizaj, nabs will be fast and sharp. For sodavi mizaj, nabs will be slow and sharp. Now let us see the Unani clinical diagnosis and treatment, which is based upon the kafiyat or mizaj. If the kafiyat is hard or hot, the symptoms are acute in the nature. The nubs will be fast and smooth in Danvi mizaj. The nubs will be fast and sharp in Safravi mizaj. If the kafiyat is barid, the symptoms are chronic in nature, usually. So the nubs will be slow and dull in Balghami mizaj, and the nubs will be slow and sharp in Sorbaji mizaj. In har kafiyat, the urine will be yellowish or less in the quantity. Body heat increases, thirst increases, sleep decreases, salivation decreases, and sweating increases. In barid kafiyat, the urine may be clear and more in the quantity. Body heat decreases, thirst decreases, sleep increases, salivation increases, and sweating decreases. Now let us see the treatment part. The treatment is based upon the kafiyat. If the kafiyat is hard, then cold medicines are given, and it leads to the skin action. If hot medicines are given, then it may leads to the tehrik action. For the same kafiyat, same drugs if we are giving, then it will lead to tehrik action. If the opposite kafiyat drugs are given, then it may lead to taskin action. So for taskin hararat medicine, these are the few medicines which gives taskin hararat. The first one is Safufi Kishmizi, Mashrubi Amla, Javarishi Anaril, Javarishi Amla, Javarishi Shahi, Sharbati Amla, Sharbati Tamar Hindi, Sharbati Buzuri Barit, Sharbati Dinar, Sharbati Banafsha, Arhu Kasni, Arhi Makau, Capsule, Huma Jadid, Majune Dabidul Wat, etc. Treatment for Barit Kafiyat is hot medicines are given, which may lead to skin action. If cold medicines are given, then it may lead to tehrik action. So, Taskeen Burudat medicines are Habbe Shifa, Habbe Asab, Habbe Nazla, Habbe Zaraki, Habbe Tinkar, Jawarish Kamuni, Jawarish Javinus, Jawarish Zanjabil, Arche Gauzaban, Arche Ambar, Arche Badian, Arche Zira, and Arche Ajwain. लौह सपिस्तान माजून फलासफा दवाउल मिस्क मुतदिल सादा etc. Now let us see the significance of ikhla. Significance of a Dambi person. The mizaj will be haratab, skin color will be reddish, body broad and strong, muscles strong, body heat increases, nafs is fast and volumatic, pulse rate is between 70 to 80 per minute, hunger and thirst increases, hair color may be black, thick and long, sleep is normal, emotions are loving and jovial, IQ is average. For the Balgami person or Balgami Mizaj person, the temperament will be Baridratab, skin color is white, body loose and obese, hair thin and smooth, blood vessels are not prominent, lazy in the nature, hunger and thirst decreases, nafs will be slow and volumatic, sleep increases, IQ will be psychic in the nature and flexible and highly emotional. Significance of Safravi Mizaj person. The Mizaj will be Haryavi, skin color is yellowish, body lean and strong, hair black, long and thick, prominent blood vessels, nerves will be fast and sharp, pulse rate between 80 to 100 per minute, hunger and thirst increases, anger increases, urine will be yellowish in the color, IQ is sharp, sleep is disturbed and less. Emotions are anger and aggressiveness. For the Saudavi person, significance of Saudavi person, the Mizaj will be Bari Diyabis, skin color will be black, body stout and strong, hunger increases, blood vessels very prominent, emotions are nearly depressed. The person will be depressed, nerves will be slow and sharp, urine clear and less, sleep decreases, IQ is sharp. Now let us see the significance of age. Unani system of medicine is having significance of age for the diagnosis of certain diseases, and these are characterized in the four age groups. The first one is Seninamo, which is age group between 0 to 25 years. The mizaj will be usually Dambi, Hararat and Rutubat. Hararat is less compared to Rutubat. Now the diseases of Seninamo. If the Hararat is present, then few diseases are style, flu, dry cough, primary complex, auditory processing disorder, constipation, vomiting, diarrhea, jaundice, palpitation, dripping of the urine, urticaria, boils, and scabies. For little but there may be tonsillitis, cold, laryngitis, otorrhea, bronchitis, seizures, cerebral palsy, ADHD, dyslexia, watering eyes, sinusitis, nasal polyp, hearing loss, asthma, bedwetting, headache, barrett, cough and sputum, and obesity. The second category is Sane Shabab, which is the age group between 25 to 45 years. The mizaj will be Safravi. There will be Hararat and Yabusat. Hararat is more as compared to Yabusat. The diseases of Sane Shabab are, if there is Hararat, then there will be urticaria, vertigo, dizziness, palpitation, epistaxis, allergic rhinitis, food allergies, gastritis, stomatitis, gingivitis, jaundice, ulcerative colitis, bleeding bile, PME, azoospermia, oligospermia. If there is Yabusat, then the fissure in tongue, bleeding piles, fissure in constipation, psoriasis, dry eczema, insomnia, dandruff, crack heels, etc. The third category is Sanekahulat, which is the age gap between 45 to 65 years. The temperament will be Balgami. There will be Barudat and Rutubat. Barudat is more compared to Rutubat. Diseases of Sanekahulat are, if there is Varuda, then we can see Sudabaric, facial palsy, tremor, indigestion, asthma, joint stiffness, depression, menopausal syndrome, obesity, diabetes mellitus, dyslipidemia. If there will be a Rutubat, then we can see arthritis, sciatica, LBA, frozen shoulders, cervical and lumbar spondylosis, diabetic wound, uterine fibroid, bulky uterus, nephritis, vaginitis, ascites, hypertension, obesity, plantar fasciitis, irregular periods, sinusitis, excessive water retention. The fourth category is Sane Shehukhat, which is the age group above 65 years. Then temperament will be Saudavi, there will be Bildet and Yabusat. Yabusat is more as compared to Bildet. So the diseases of Sane Shehukhat are, if there will be Yabusat, then Nisyan, Zofeba, insomnia, depression, melancholia, psoriasis, dry eczema, Alzheimer's disease, insanity, dementia, constipation, internal bleeding, fractured bones, etc. If there is blue that present, then the diseases may be Parkinsonism, stroke, cataract, weakness, loss of appetite, incontinence of urine, etc. Now, finally, we'll come to the discussion and conclusion. We'll see the discussion part. When this system invented, it was a pure science. Then, at present, they have evidences according to the modern standards, but are very less. It's a great medical science in some areas, but the current standard of practice is low. So the conclusion is, at present, Unani system of medicine with its own recognized practitioners, hospitals, and educational institutions forms an integral part of natural healthcare delivery system. Now the message is learn Unani, practice Unani, and develop Unani. I hope this presentation helps you to understand the importance and holistic approach of Unani system of medicine. At last, I am really grateful and thankful to Feminine Unani Medical Organization for giving me the opportunity to speak by providing a platform and sharing knowledge.